Good morning and welcome to the Dark... No, wrong show. Good morning and welcome to Moopsy in the Morning for December the 2nd, 2024. I'm Mom. And I'm joined by Taz and Chris. Good morning, Taz. Good morning, Chris.
Morning.
Morning. You're back to work. That's why you're that way.
Yep.
2 words and I know you're at the or you're working.
I'm just making sure I'm being heard. I wasn't sure because Tazzy wasn't actually talking yet, and
Taz,
I wasn't sure if I'm
either Taz goes away from his mic or it doesn't always work or it's got super low volume, so if he's not talking, he's probably
fighting it. Yeah, I know.
Let's take a look here and see where Taz is. Well, according to this, Taz is at Drozana, so no, he's not fighting. He's getting a coffee or something. Right. We shall see. How was your weekend?
I think it was alright. Nothing special happened then.
How's the fluffer baby?
I think he's uncomfortable today.
Oh, no.
Keeps looking back at me.
Oh. So Loki barks incessantly, even more than the big dog does. But she usually barks when she wants to either make the big dog bark or when she sees food is being prepared. So for the last week and a half, I've been training her to wait for her food. You know, she'll bark while I'm preparing it. I can't stop that. But now when we go over to the place of putting food down, she has to be quiet. Then I made her be quiet and sit down, and then I made her be quiet and lie down until the bowl's down, and now she has to wait a few seconds. So today she just went over there and sat quietly, and I'm thinking, yes, this training is working. It was a little bit quieter than it's been. Yeah, I'm happy. It's high-pitched, and I don't have a lot of soft materials downstairs, so it resonates. Oh. The house has hardwood floors through the main area, which is very nice, and I like it, but that means the dog barking gets very loud. So I have a rug that's coming in next week, and that should help deaden out some of the noise, too. We will see. Today I have got ground and ground, but I do have some Tetrion damage in space. The question is, do I have any Tetrion weapons? I've got 4 of them. I guess we're going to play Tetrion weapons.
Oh yeah, I had to waste almost my daily amount of dilithium
for
rerolls.
Oh, no.
Because I got Hercutendons, I got some type of damage ground I don't do because I didn't have any guns for it. Something about bullions on ground, something about
Hello, can you help me?
Hi Taz, how are you doing?
Oh, fine, just
we thought you were off getting coffee or something.
I managed to misplace my microphone again.
Oh, no. Okay. Over the upcoming winter holidays when our office is shut down for a little bit, I'm going to see if I can finally get my good mic to work. The problem is it's very good, which means as soon as I start typing, it starts picking up the keyboards. So you hear me and then the background here, which makes for a very annoying game. And I have the quietest keyboard I could find, and it still picks up on the mic. It's the same mic DT uses, but I don't know how he's got his set up. It's annoying. The headset mic is easier. It also kills all the background noise, so maybe I'll just stick with that and use the good mic for things where I don't have to type. Like voiceover working, stuff like that. Hold on. I was going to ask Taz what he's got for the day, but what he's got is stuff that's already done. Am I right, Taz?
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's fine, because I just I have space damage, but that means we can do just about anything, and then I'll see what we've got on the other tunes today.
Well, unfortunately I have Undine Dyson ships in battle zone, in the Dyson battle zone, so I'm just right there.
Okay.
I've got 30 of them, so...
Do you want us to join you?
If you like.
Yeah, I'm right there. Taz, if you want to join us in the Undine space battle zone.
On my way.
Sweet.
Why are they completing this? Someone is completing a point, meaning that I won't be able to harvest it for Undine.
Well, that's okay. We just need the ships.
Yeah, but they're completing the point, so there will be no ships coming in.
Yeah, but it. Which
I
map
moved
are?
to a different point.
Yeah, but it's brand new. I mean, everything's available.
Yeah, gladly. This is still a
Yeah.
fresh instance with nothing else completed.
Where are you on this map? Oh, there you are. You're over in there. I
That's
see. You're in the
4
5
o'clock,
o'clock.
I think.
4 or 5 o'clock. Yeah, I see it.
4 or 5 o'clock.
Some place over there. I'm on my way to join you. Since we have to be at the same location, I think, for it to count. Yeah, I see. They just completed that one. Those artillery points are great because they just keep spawning and spawning ships. If you don't complete it, it will just keep spawning.
It will just keep bringing them up. Yeah, it was just useful for an endeavor like this.
Yeah, for the 30s, I usually get it to about 20, then I'll go ahead and complete it. So I had terrible insomnia. I woke up at midnight and didn't get back to sleep till after 3. Finally fell asleep at 3, and then the alarm goes off 2 hours later. It's like, no, no, that's so mean. I want to go back to bed. Nope, I don't know how I did that. I wound up going the wrong direction. Well, I see you
Are
guys.
you doing it for the kills or for the capture point?
He's doing it for kills, right? Are you? I'm doing it for damage, so.
I don't really care about completing this.
Oh, hey, it's something to do. It gets you your things and the chance of a reroll token, so the next time you get ground.
I had ground healing.
Shield or
I've rerolled.
Shield or health?
Just health.
Oh.
I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, health is a pain in the
Not
butt.
to mention, it's just like I have so much health resistance and stuff. Like I would have to strip myself of all the traits.
That's what I
I'm
usually
not
do.
doing
I drop
that.
shields, I drop everything. Just go in there naked.
I would literally have to go naked. I would have to unequip my traits and stuff, and I'm like, no, that's too much work for such a silly, insignificant endeavor. It's not worth the easy. It's giving back.
On these 2 junior accounts, yeah, I do everything. On the big accounts, yeah, that doesn't look like fun. I think I won't do that.
I see you kept your Negus from yesterday.
Yes, I want to master it, but I kind of like this ship.
How are you finding it?
I'm enjoying it. It's fun. So I had this set up with agony phasers, which was very nice.
Ah.
I'm really happy with that, so I think I'm going to go ahead and... This tune already has a good ship that we're still working on, but it might not be a bad thing to get everything set up on this, and then I can just use the basic layout on another tune. How are you doing on your count?
I need 5 more.
I'll just drive into this pylon here and smack myself upside the head.
I wish there was an ability to lock the tray, so I won't swap pages of my tray. Accidentally clicking in the wrong place.
You can lock your tray.
No, I can't. I mean, you know what I mean? You see those arrows next to a line in the tray?
Yeah.
With a number? You can click it regardless to what you want. I wish I could block the ability to click them.
Oh, got it.
Those arrows. I want this dead. I want this feature dead. Who's been completing this? We have no more spawns.
Yeah, I know. Taz, don't complete.
No, I have not.
There is another guy who just zipped in here. Right behind me. How many do you need?
1 more.
Let's go in the middle, because when he finishes this one, it's going to spawn right there. There they are.
They almost undercut me. Rude.
There you go. Did you get it?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah. Whee oh whee, as we like to say. Well, I got 65,000 on my Tetrion damage.
Actually, someone yelled at me in the Dyson Sphere some time ago because I wasn't doing the point. I was just shooting, and I'm like, dude, I'm completing an endeavor because I have like 60 to kill. Get off my back.
Yeah, I usually explain to people that if you do the point, then you can't do the kills. There you go, Lono.
Yeah, I will get all the kills, and it was like half complete. one with very populated instance. I'm like not waiting for the next 20 minutes.
I was completing a point once, and a guy said, hey, just so you know, if you complete the point, then it stops spawning, but if you don't, if you just keep running, it'll keep spawning and spawning. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. My apologies, and I will keep that knowledge in my brain. It was really nice of that person to tell me why they were annoyed that I was there. So I've always tried to communicate.
Yeah, but they just yelled at me, "No, you're not doing this. I'm
just
trying to complete an endeavor. Like, why are you yelling at me?"
Well,
there are other points.
Maybe he's trying to complete an endeavor too, and up here there's only 2 endeavors, kills and damage, both of which benefit by not completing the point.
Which was, again, not what they were yelling me about.
Yeah, but maybe they didn't know that.
I don't know, they never responded again after I told them I'm doing an endeavor because I have kills to complete.
Yeah.
The other one is an Iconian TFO, and I need to do disruptor damage on ground, which is fine. I can do it.
Iconian.
I'm not reloading. I've made too many rerolls already.
Okay, Iconian, we have Gateway and Herald Sphere. Do you have a preference?
Well, Herald Sphere is faster, but it's glitching visually, but I don't know. I don't have a preference, really.
Panny NL is here saying ST Online is so toxic. I disagree. It can't. Depends.
Really depends who you run into.
Yeah.
A lot of people I meet in the game are like nerdy about the ships, and I'm really like, oh, I love this ship. What's so cool? And it's like chatty and very open. And like, oh, did you know you can do this or this? And like, yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know.
The people who
I do run into someone's like a buzzkill. Just like,
yeah, but you know what? The buzzkill people don't tend to stay in the game for too long.
I'm not sure about that.
They stay off my radar. That's for dang sure.
I bumped into a couple of people shouting at me for something in TFO, and I'm like, dude, I'm doing my part. Look at the other guys. I'm like, me. I'm like, yeah. Well.
Shadow says the internet is like that. You have to look for the cream and not the chum.
Yeah, you just have to filter them out.
I do not use zone chat. That's for dang sure. I'm sorry, did we say that Gateway is what we wanted, or Herald Sphere?
I said I have no preference, so you can queue whatever.
Tess, what'd you say?
I must admit I'm kind of a zone chat troll.
Oh, yeah.
I can't help myself, I just see it and I just have to jump in and voice my opinions.
Yeah, no, it's not even there. I have to go and deliberately try and get it. Flied lice, Taz? Flied lice? Seriously?
You just noticed that?
I've met some really nice people in Zone Chat. The guy who used to do Pilot Radio Show was great. In fact, we still chat. And met him a few times in real life. And one day the Zone Chat was so bad I almost quit the game. Which is the point that somebody said, you can turn that off. I can? Yep. So my son comes over, clicks the button. It's like, thank you. But, Weewoo?
We have a Weewoo protocol.
For every...
Yeah.
But then again, I'm one of those people. Coming from a background of teaching little kids, there's always the do this because that. So don't trigger all the Klingon weapons in that thing, because if you're trying to get kills or you want to do a lot of damage, this will continue to spawn. And so when that guy said that to me, it was great. Or when we went into the vault a couple of years ago, and one of the players sent out a message to the whole team going, does everybody know how to play this so we can win it? And a couple of people said no. I said, no problem. He needs to go, so he copy-pasted it into the chat box. Brilliant. That way we all got to play a successful vault, and it's one reason I like it now. He bothered to make it a lot more fun for everybody. I'm going left. Me and my little pew-pew mobile, which is now at 3.5.
I never liked the vault because it feels a little bit tedious.
It can be, but I think storming the spire can be tedious, and someone here likes it.
Oh, yeah, point it out. Name me.
Drunken Heretic was on the other day, and...
I'm not ashamed to say it. I enjoy it, and
that's okay. I enjoy the vault. It's just, it pops very rarely. So I'm still... The vault, yeah.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Let's go over there. Hey, if
I don't do random, so I don't run into it anyway, so...
Yeah, if I want it to pop, then I'll go over to random land. They're fighting the ships in space rather than the ones at the base. There we go. It got Tazzed and Christ, so it's all done. This crispy critter, I'll go planet side over on the ship.
I'm actually not that powerful in this ship, I just like flying it because it's...
And by the way, Panny, Marhawkman, and Shadow, good morning! I hope you're all doing well today.
I just like this ship.
We're still trying to resolve Siggy's issue with his account. Figured out how to do it. Sent him very explicit step-by-step instructions, but I walked it through myself to make sure you could do it. And if you're trying to put in a support ticket through Arc or Cryptic, or Stowe rather, it's challenging because there's so many options, and all of them basically require you to log back into your account except one. So I went through like 15 permutations, and I finally figured out how to do a screenshot of the shortcut so he could just zip over there and get it, since English is not his primary language. So that's why I spent my night, mostly because I forgot to bring home the files I was supposed to work on yesterday. No, I don't want to close that one. No, this one over here. I want to close this one over here. Slightly out of position. There, I'll close that one. So as soon as we're done here, I have to run downstairs, dry my hair, and run into the office because I have 2 hours to finish the files that I need to have done today. Well, at least one of the files. Stop flying faster than me. I'm going to give you a heads up. I might not be on Wednesday morning just because I have a holiday party I'm going to Tuesday night.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's for a friend of my son's. This place has a Chris Kindle Mart that they open. And it's the opening ceremonies, and then there's going to be a concert that goes with us. All holiday stuff. Last year or year before, it was like 3 degrees and the wind was 30 miles an hour, and you could not get warm. You could not drink enough hot wine to get warm. But you could drink enough hot wine where you really shouldn't be driving home. And I'm sure you've got a Polish and Norwegian equivalent of hot spiced wine. Not that you drink wine.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's fine. It's just like I can't be bothered to make it myself.
Oh, my husband perfected the idiot version of it. I mean, he had it down to this. Oh, you put it together and you heat this for exactly this long, and you toast the spices for that long, yada 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 yada. And then I discovered, hey, or you can put it all in a big kettle together. Let it go for 30 minutes, let it cool down, put it in bottles, voila. Or just drink it.
We have that for a type of beer, and we have that for wine. I know some restaurants that have this. Oh, like not restaurants, but like even coffee tea shops. Places like.
Well, I find it very pleasant and soothing. It's the kind of thing you want to have in a mug while you're sitting outside at like a fire pit and having some nice fire pit time.
There's actually it's kind of funny because it's like a virtual tea room. There's a girl on TikTok who has, I think it's called Meg's Tea Room. She has a channel where she just, it's kind of a vibe because she approaches it like you were actually watching it, but you were a guest that she's talking to, and her conversations towards the viewers are like, she kind of gives me the vibe of an innkeeper in like a fantasy
that would be
game
fun.
or a film or a book where she's just like she knows everyone. She's open to everyone. Warm, cozy vibes. She knows your favorite drinks. She's gonna make them for you. And the way she speaks and the way she talks and the way she prepares it, like the favorite blend of her favorite relaxing tea or something like that, and she talks about it as she prepares it, and it feels like you're almost about to receive a cup of tea or something.
Nice.
Which is kind of cute and cozy, and that gives me a vibe of I
said that's Meg's tea room?
Yeah, Meg's tea room.
I'll have to look it up. It sounds lovely.
I think she has this unique ability to tell a story without actually telling a story. It feels like she's talking about relevant stuff in your life, even though this is pre-recorded. Just a very unique thing. But I do remember I used to I was still in my early 20s and dating was a thing for me. I remember going to tea shops, like tea rooms, places like that. We do have few of them which have this very unique cozy vibe. They would have been very heavily decorated, usually covered up windows, so you just it cuts out the outside, very warmly lit, dimly lit, not very bright but not too dark, just right in between, so it immediately becomes a cozy place, usually decorated with some flower vibes and stuff like that. And you know what? Those places had such unique atmosphere and climate, and just was a vibe. I liked going there. And problem is my neighborhood, which I barely leave at this point because since COVID, because there's no point. I don't like the city center because it's too crowded. But all of those places are usually around the city center, so it was just we like places like these in outskirts of the city. Because my city was a capacity of at least 1 million people back in the day. Now it's maybe 100,000 people living. Sorry, 800,000 would be accurate. But it's spread with such a big amount of terrain. That it feels like it's an enormous metropolis, really, even though it doesn't have skyscrapers too much and doesn't really go into that kind of architecture, because it's one of the few cities in Poland that actually hasn't been bombed during the World War II. Nothing happened here, really. I mean, we did have our name, Main Street, changed to a certain adult name for a time during the occupation, but mostly nothing really happened here, because a lot of Germans and a lot of Jews lived here before the war, so they kind of we're fine with that. So there was some industry that used to deal with all over the Europe, so textile industry. So a lot of the infrastructure is pretty old, so accommodating modern infrastructure into that kind of doesn't work well. It would just look weird with modern architecture, which is just glass and steel. And
I will tell you, when I was
over 100 years old buildings, or even 200 years old buildings.
So I used to work with a company that based out of Aachen, Germany, and I'd go over there every now and then, and I was there during the summer. And because Americans are 200 years for a country is old.
Yeah.
And I go over there, and we're out.
That's old for you.
Yeah, it's old for us. And I go over there, and we're sitting outside and in the town square, and there looks like the top of a Roman arch stuck in the ground, and the kids are playing on it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What is it? And she goes, oh, this used to be a Roman town back 300, 400.
Yeah.
And you do the blink, and I'm like, but the kids are just playing on it. Yeah. But it's like an architectural treasure. And she's like, no. The whole town is like architectural treasure. If we did that and didn't let people touch it, there'd be nothing to do.
Yeah, it's funny how you come over here to Europe, someone who has never left the US, and they suddenly come to a country which actually, into a city, for instance, that's full of Roman stuff, and it's so common to people they don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But you look at this my God, there should be in a museum.
Yep.
It should be behind a glass cabinet so no one touches it, so it doesn't wither away. But no, that imagine Romans suddenly hiding everything because don't touch it, don't touch it. How? That's just unworkable.
Okay, so my sister used to live in a town called St. Gallen in Switzerland, and she took me down to the Stiftsbibliothek, which I just looked it up, was designed in like 758 based on a location that was there 1,000 years before that. And I'm like, wow, this is older than our country. And she's like, come on, I'll show you some seriously old stuff. It just was freaking me out.
I know, like, I have a friend who's like, well, she's a educated archaeologist for the, with all the papers and stuff, but she didn't working in it because, like, you know, she settled down and there's really not much work for an archaeologist that doesn't have connections and money. So she's, like, doing the tours right now over London because that's where she lives, and the amount of still ancient, like Roman stuff that is around London that is just subverted, so hidden behind every other thing that they built ever since, like that. It's incredible, like a 2,000-year-old piece of a Roman wall, and like the old London, like some of the districts are called based of the names of gates, and those gates were set in the Roman times where the city was surrounded with a wall, obviously, as they would. And like, I had no idea that those names come from the Roman times, and she's like, yeah, it comes from Roman times. It's like, wow.
See, like, I think London was Londinium.
Londinium, yeah, and then for a time after the Roman Empire fell down, it was called London, which is Luden. So it was kind of like it started to transition, but Londinium was the original Roman name. Yeah. It's funny because, like, sometimes video games allow you to time travel, kinda. And whilst I'm not very fond of the series right now, the Assassin's Creed series actually allows you to see a reconstruction of the London city in like 800 AD, something like it. So during the Dark Ages, you know, there's not much record of it, but like the remaining records from like the Christian times, because there was already Christian presence, and that's during the Viking conquest. There's some records, and despite the quality of the games overall, like, they are still trying to always consult archaeologists, historians, archivists, all the archives that are available for a location that they decide to set up a specific game in. And like, it just was happening around certain pieces of England, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that came out in 2018, I think. And the amount of like the Roman aqueducts that was still standing in the landscape that are gone today, because obviously, like half a millennium was passed since then. One and a half millennium has passed, and it's just like, wow, they still had so much Roman stuff. Like imagine living in a city like in the 800 AD that is kind of Christian already, because Christianity already settled, but you still see those massive Roman statues watching over you. That must have been so unique. And who built it? Like, not all of these people were educated. They wouldn't know. And like, how do you cope with stuff like that lingering around your daily life?
Marhockman points out here that legend has it the oldest part of Chepstow Castle was built by William the Conqueror by ripping apart materials from something that the Romans built. So true.
Yeah, they did that all the time.
The Egyptians do it all the time.
Egyptians did it all the time. The Arabs did it all the time between actually before the 1800s and 1900s, where Egyptology started to be a thing. They kept stripping ancient Egyptian ruins all the time. Like,
because it's building materials. The heck with the concept of archaeology. There's building materials. They're right there. They've already been prepped. Yeah. Let's use it. Nobody else is using it.
Half of the Great Pyramid covers that were done in the limestone, making it very smooth and white, was stripped by Arabs and just moved into the.
That was stripped by Egyptians. Yes.
Cairo and stuff like that. So it was like it's been over like this all the time. Like, there are some structures, like even like medieval time.
Hang on, let me interrupt you there. Hi, Joshua.
Hello.
Sent you an invitation to the. Oh, you declined. Okay, well, fine. Don't party with us.
Wow.
That's okay. Mayor Hockman does say the U.S. has stuff like that, but people ignore it. It's not that we have stuff like that. We really don't. We have stuff that's a couple hundred years old. But if you want to go into old stuff, then you have to go into like the burial mounds in Kaskaskia, and there's a couple other. But because they're Native American, it's hard to find them because a lot of times, over the years they've just been plowed under. Because people didn't get it was anything other than a hill that they could grow stuff on. So there's a few that remain, not enough.
There's also the fact that Native Americans didn't actually build in stone. They
were didn't.
Nomadic. If they built anything, it was built out of raw materials they had, which was something that they could move easily or
they weren't necessarily nomadic. It depends on because the U.S. is big and so groups where you had to move with the food supply, hunter-gatherers, and those who had transient growing abilities, like those out in the Midwest where it tends to be much drier, versus middle of Illinois where pretty much year-round, if you got some decent shelter against the winter weather, you could make a semi-permanent town, but it's just like the ones down in the Amazon. Anything where you've got good growing also means you have fairly good decomposition. So unless you intend for it to stick around, it's not going to stick around.
And they didn't build it specifically in stone anyway, because that was just their way. So it's just like the early Slavic times. There's not many settlements from even here, like in Poland. There's not many of them remaining to this day because most of when they were building those early settlements and towns, 900 AD, they were built mostly out of wood.
Let me interrupt with I need to do some Herc frigates or Voth ships. How would you guys feel about doing the patrol aftermath?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it on advanced, and I am launching, so launch when you're ready, and I'll meet you over there. Mar Hockman also adds pueblos and stuff like that. Yeah, out in the deserts, the various groups that lived in the sides of cliffs in the elaborate towns that they created.
I like that this is like archaeology and history is starting to get a bit more traction these days. Again, it's starting to a little bit gain on popularity.
Who has joined us? It's Mar Hockman. Hi, Mar Hockman.
I'm very glad for TikTokers and people who are vested in it. These two TikTokers I watch, they travel all over the antiquity region, Mediterranean, and showing the Pompeii, what the current very freshly newly made discoveries are being shown because they are archaeologists and they can go in and see amazing stuff.
I follow one named Milo Rossi who does TikTok under the name Mini Minuteman, and he has done some really interesting archaeological things. He went to Göbekli
Tepe.
Thank you. And the other one, the newer one that they found recently.
Oh yeah, they found another one.
Yeah.
I don't remember its name though.
It predates Göbekli Tepe by quite a while.
And Göbekli Tepe kind of already predates stuff that we believe that was happening in that region by just a couple of thousand years. So we're consistently rewriting our history books as it goes.
Well,
that's part of what I was getting at with the Native Americans.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if you were going there. Oh,
the oldest stuff that they found in North America is rock carvings, except that it's really stinking old rock carvings.
Hey, have you been by any chance reading at all on the Mastodon kill site that they found?
Something that's new?
It's not that new. I mean, it's in the last 10 years, so relative, They found a possible, but not for sure, kill site for where they had killed mastodons and then used that location to carve up the meat and just, do whatever you do to it. But there was some things that hinted at tools being used there, but the thing that was really freaky is it predates known presence of humans in North America by tenfold.
No.
So, yeah, it's been interesting. They can't prove it was humans. It could have been something else. So they're trying to come up with some information. There's a name for it. Shadow says, I'm not allowed on TikTok, unfortunately. By TikTok or by your wife or husband or spouse or children?
Or both. or insane people in general.
If you're wondering why I didn't join, it's I was already signed up for Bug Hunt.
Oh, okay. We won't pester you.
And I'm in my middle of my daily routine of logging into every single tune that I currently have.
Ah.
Yeah. If you've ever watched while you've been live, you've noticed I've logged out and logged in like 24 times or 22 times. You know why.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's my internet. Well, okay, my internet has been acting funky this morning, but today I actually got kicked to desktop twice, and all I did was log in to do dailies. I know to a certain extent it's my internet being screwy, but I'm not sure if it's just my internet being screwy.
Well, if there would be bugs, I would probably have some, but it's been a very smooth experience for me, and usually Europe just gets the worst of it. So maybe that's just internet locally. Maybe it's just being buggy.
Well, I have Herc frigates. Does anybody need to do Swarm?
I mean, I've done it, but I can run it again.
Taz, do you need to do it? Joshua, do you want to join us for Swarm? Or do you need to do Ground Kill? You don't have
Tough
to.
questions.
It's just an invitation. Shadow, do you want to join us?
I'm still in the middle of Bug Hunt at the moment.
Yeah, well, okay. I didn't know if you'd launched already. It's the Ceruti Mastodon kill site if you want to look into it. But if the evidence actually does show that it was some form of humans and not just coincidental, the rocks looked like they were tools and stuff, it would put humans in North America roughly at 100,000 years ago, which is way before they thought they got here.
Well, so that's what I was getting at with the rock carvings thing, is that some of those rock carvings are from a few thousand years before the Great Ice Age was supposed to have started.
Mm-hmm.
So these were areas that we wouldn't have been able to make ice carving or rock carvings during the Ice Age at all.
Right. That gets into a whole bunch of really interesting things about when was North America occupied. And then, if it was occupied so much earlier than we anticipated, how'd they get here?
Well, actually, one of the things that a lot of people think is true is that it's the same basic way that because like the whole like land bridge thing assumes that people aren't able to make boats.
Yeah.
And we've figured out that like boats are actually one of the things people invented so long ago that we have no idea who actually first built them.
That makes so much more sense than assuming everybody walked over here, because it's going to be like day one. Hey, that leaf's floating. Hey, that stick's floating. Oh, that big log is floating. Yeah.
Like there was a lake in the U.S. that there was a landslide caused by a volcano.
Weewoo?
Yep. And basically, it happened like some 30 years ago, and the wood is still floating on that lake.
Oh, that would be at Mount St. Helens.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's still covered partially. Like, at least half of the lake is still covered with that wood.
I totally
30 years ago.
We actually do have a few lakes in the U.S. that also have floating islands.
Mm-hmm.
Floating islands lies in land masses that move?
Well, what happens is like logs fall into the waters, they mass together, and then as they slowly decompose, trees and plants begin to root on them, but they still have no foundation to the base of the lake, so they literally float.
That is so cool, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, in some cases, it's a reservoir lake where...
Oh my gosh, didn't know we had those too.
A section of a hilltop just, like, rips loose while the a thing is flooding. Because, like, one of the ones is actually, for the most part, just a giant mass of debris that's accumulated over the years. But the giant mass of debris got started because several of what were at the time living trees got uprooted when it filled the reservoir and just like started floating with a rather large chunk of dirt on the surface.
Yeah, there's wind which can bring it easily onto the flotation and just enables growth, and then it just goes from there.
And it's just as the wind brings that over, wind brings over seeds and spores, and stuff begins to grow.
Yeah, I mean, how
It's
do you
magic.
think, like... How do you think...
And then birds poop on it.
Yep.
And that's a fertilizer.
And seeds, because birds don't digest everything.
Yep.
Anyway, though, it's one of those things where it's like that one location all local is
It's not only me that is hearing this, right?
Yeah, things are cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying about my internet being screwy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really screwy.
Yeah, like it digitizes you.
It's been happening actually for a couple of days, where we've been having it cut in and out like that.
Anyways, the locals mostly avoid it because the fact that they know it's kind of unstable, and if you try walking around on it too much, there's a good chance you're going to fall off or fall through a hole to the underside of it. Because, like I said,
we're losing.
I'm sorry, dude. That sounds so funny. Oh, I'm sorry, dude, but that sounds like hilarious.
What, falling through?
Yeah, you've been No, I
the
think
digitizing, yeah.
Digitized, yeah.
Yeah.
So that one episode, Foudroir effect.
So every now and then, like 20 times a day, I get spam calls from call centers, not in the United States, I shall say diplomatically. And, of course, about 80% of them have terrible VoIP. Just awful quality.
Oh, yeah.
So...
People from all kinds of ancient technology. I don't know, telegram infrastructure.
So, a lot of times it'd be like, yeah, I can hear the audio problem. Thanks for calling in. Let me walk you through the corrections. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, you called tech support. What?
What?
Or I'll start reading them some legal document. Hey, can we get clarification on Chapter A, sub 3.1.2, paragraph 1? Can you go through that third sentence? And you just get these people who are just kind of numb to things at this point.
Head to escape route Beta. Protect the refugee ships.
So I did buy out the event on all of my lower tunes, so they now all have the stuff. And I did buy the Tholian event, which, by the way, does not have the Tholian warp core. That was a different event. So I do not have the Tholian core on these guys. I'm very sad.
Oh, no.
Yes, people were like, oh, you have to get that one. Nope.
Then that was the Tholian suit, I think.
Not that any of the events had really cool toys anyway, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, and they give up good ships this year, but when it comes to equipment,
I mean, the ground stuff has been at least interesting, even if it's not...
it's not game making or game breaking, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's just like a nostalgia gimmick, or like, oh, what if you could actually have that in the game, a workable thing? Because I don't think they've done anything with like the microvirus.
Moopsy was good.
In again.
The macrovirus is actually better than you might think at first glance, because it's actually something that would work well in a build that's designed to kill enemies while their shields fill up. Because
I have used it. It's not
acid
bad.
Works.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it's more like a gimmicky thing than something game changing.
Yeah, it's not game changing. Well, Moopsy is gimmicky, but it's still so hysterically funny that I love having Moopsy on my ground fights.
Wait, there's a Moopsy? Did I miss something?
There's a Moopsy battle pet. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Badgie battle pet. My bad.
Badgie, don't get
Badgie.
me.
Yeah, no, Moopsy would be killer.
Oh my god!
Wouldn't Moopsy be great? No, I'm misspeaking. It is Badgie. Killer Badgie. Stabby Badgie!
Yeah, I never actually managed to get one, so I don't know. I haven't used it. All the ones I had, they opened for ground non-combat pad, and I'm like, yeah, go away.
Well, they're cute. I only want combat Badgie.
Yeah, well, I didn't get any, so... I wonder if they can be bought off of
Yes, they
exchange.
can be.
Yeah.
They can be bought off the exchange. They're
Probably
still
missed
expensive,
millions.
so just wait a little bit for them to be not the in thing.
Yeah, that.
Where are we at? Where it's
Because I only
expensive?
got all the non-combat pets, all the variants, but none of them non-combat pets. I'm like, yeah, thanks, game. Because
Yeah.
the spawn rate was probably ridiculous, so you would spend more money on it.
Yep. Honestly, just let me buy it. Give me an option to just buy it.
Kill the like RNG generated spawn stuff. I want guaranteed purchase. I don't.
I mean, give it an option. Let people who don't want to spend money on it, give them the option of getting it out of the lockbox. Who did we just lose? We lost Mar Hawkman there.
Probably the internet.
Yeah, so get it out of the lockbox, or if you just don't, put it in Mud's Market or something, or as soon as it comes down from the lockbox, make it available.
Like there are still ships that you can't get because they have never reappeared.
Yep.
If you haven't taken part in the event or something, you're still like cut out of it.
Yeah, the Eisenberg has been one. This one, the Grand
It's been
Nagus.
2 years since Heisenberg has been off, and Grand Nagus used to be like the devs courtesy until now.
Yeah, it was.
It was widely available.
It
You
was
couldn't get it
available
even
at one
off the
point
gamble
for a
board.
very limited time, and I can't remember all the restrictions. It was not widely available, and it. But I think mostly the devs handed it out.
As I said, the previously until it was released now, I had no idea that it exists. I only thought there was a Quark Marauder, that's a tier 6 variant of the old Decora, but
Well,
I only
okay,
learned now that there is a special type of.
the
that
original
ship that
Gold
was-
Nagus was some weird promotion that has never been officially explained.
Yeah, even the
where-
Wiki didn't really know the criteria to get it, even from
Where-
the devs.
They emailed ARC codes to get it to people, seemingly at random.
Official information was that they were just people who contributed to the game, but there was never specified what sort of criteria will give you that kind of
Well, I mean,
status recognition from the devs.
well, what you're talking about is the email that they sent to people when they emailed them the codes.
Well, that's what the wiki said about it anyway. I wasn't aware until it was released last week that it's a thing, so again, I wouldn't know.
There were a couple of ships that were things
I
that
was
most
around
people
when
can't
it was
get.
new, and a lot of people were going on it. What's going on?
You're still bro-body.
Digitizer plasma torpedo was launched, and I think you can digitize it then.
Seriously, you guys get going on and on about be robotic makes the whole freaking thing worse.
Well, we can't help it. What happens is we cannot hear what you're saying.
But we do hear a digitizer.
Yeah, so we're hearing like parts of each
Perfect.
syllable. Pardon? I know it's not your fault, but we can't hear what you're saying because it is doing that. And so,
Okay.
I've been looking at the mods bundles, and that's a very dangerous game.
Why?
doing mods bundles. I have
Well-
the Zen to buy stuff for myself this year.
I haven't had the balls to actually
There's-
buy anything off of it.
No, I'm not.
There's at least one mods bundle that I would actually want.
Which one?
Oh?
The Muds Primary Faction Mega Bundle.
What is
Or
it?
the Cruiserweight. Is it
Yeah,
the
got
Cruiser?
it.
No, it's the Primary Faction Mega Bundle. Involves
Yeah.
the Discovery, the Jim Hadar bug ship, the Sarcophagus, and the Darkina.
The Valkyna would be good just for that ship. I don't care about the rest.
That sarcophagus is fun ship to run.
I'm gonna
It's
get out
stupidly
of this
big, but
wormhole
it's really fun.
bundle so I can get the Plasma Storm, and then I'm gonna get the Delkina bundle.
I have.
You need to repeat, you were too quiet.
I'm gonna get out of this wormhole hole bundle, the one that gives you the Marquis Raider, so
Yeah.
you can get the Plasma Storm.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna get the Delkina bundle.
So
Yeah.
at the height of
say don't do that.
COVID,
Yeah.
The Maquis Raider was available as a thank you if you donated to a certain fundraiser they were doing.
Wow.
Yeah, they did that a couple of times during COVID.
Well, okay.
So it's kind of nice.
Fundraiser
How did I miss
giveaways
that?
are actually something that they've done repeatedly.
Say that again?
They've done fundraiser repeaters.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot.
absolutely. It's a fine way. You know, if people have got a couple bucks they can donate, you can get stuff.
I'm still
It's
waiting
just
for that one that
mother-
gave you this pink vanity shield.
Oh,
Is that
that was
Breast cancer awareness.
breast
month.
cancer
Yeah.
awareness. Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
They haven't
were
repeat-
supposed to do it again, but they haven't repeated it yet.
no, and we'll need to see if Decca's going to do that too. I would love for them to do it. Let's see. I have 9 minutes because I have a hard stop because I have to go down, dry my hair, and then go start training my replacement some more. And go get the work I didn't get done today done. What would we like to do for our last run here?
I'm onslaught.
Have Onslaught? Sure. You want to join us, Joshua?
Anyways,
Yes.
Oh.
attempting to explain the Gold Nagus though. The original email promotion there was no actual official explanation of how that was chosen, and also no way that you email the code.
Weeboo?
You were detected.
Then on a second run of it, it was like a super limited thing that was related to some sort of like a physical thing people bought, where if you bought the physical thing you would also get a Gold Nagus code. But it was so limited that almost nobody got it from that.
Well, at one point they had a code if you bought something through WizKids for the Star Trek Online minis, you would get a code for another ship. The thing is, it was almost impossible to find anybody who carried WizKids in the middle of the States. I don't know about the East and West Coast, but nobody in mid-States carried it for Star Trek. And they couldn't even order it.
And a lot of times, if you try buying it off the internet, you'll get the plastic figure and the code's gone.
Well, or the code would be there, but somebody had already cashed in on it. Speaking of
Yeah, that
which,
too.
our company gave everybody gift cards for Thanksgiving, which they have always done. And some of the people got theirs, and the card had been hacked before they took it out of the envelope. So one guy got there and it had 2 cents left on the card.
That is actually an interesting thing with some of these gift cards, is that people can, just do the whole like brute force cracking thing. And
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the card had not left the envelope from when we sent it. That means it was hacked before we bought it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying about brute force cracking, is that guessing the password to the account number that's associated with the card would actually let you spend the money off of it without ever having physical access to the card.
Yeah, but don't you have to have some information off the card, like the number?
Well, that's why I say it's like guessing, because like the actual numbers on the cards for the account numbers are, as far as I know, actually sequentially issued, because it's just like account 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.
Interesting.
The thought thing. This is actually part of the reason why Shadow has a whole thing. It's like you have to activate the card first, because that's something that at least helps prevent things like this. Although
Well, what we came up with it was
some way of getting around that too.
We were surmising that possibly it was something inside their company that was distributing these. Because it's really hard to get the account number off of it. And since if they are sequential, that meant all of the, let's say, 50 cards we bought would have been sequential.
Yeah.
Why did they get one and not all 50 that we bought? They didn't. They grabbed one. So more likely, somebody someplace grabbed a number off this card, and then maybe 100 cards later grabbed a number. So it was less obvious.
Maybe they were trying to do this selectively to be less
if it's something
conspicuous.
internal, they're definitely not going to want to just like grab everything, because then it'd be too obvious who did it.
And I will have just enough time once we're done with the Sport Queen to tell the story of the post office. United States Post Office. We had the bank come back to us once going, hey, this check doesn't look right, and we looked. Somebody had gotten hold of the check, basically erased the name of the intended person we're paying it to, the payee, and substituted their own name for it. And tracked it back. Well, this is happening regularly from the post office across the street, to the tune of over $1 million in checks had been fraudulently altered and cashed in. But because it was happening to one company here and one company there, they weren't putting it back together with it being the local post office. It turns out it was the postmaster of that office who was kind of like the head of an operation where he would steal envelopes that he thought contained checks and then sell them to people, and they could do what they wanted to with them. And it was quite successful. We still have issues with this. The guy is sitting in jail waiting for his trial at the moment. But, wow. And that's the post office. And the weird thing is now, to mail stuff instead of going to the post office literally across the street from mine, I have to drive 6 miles to go to a post office where the postmaster there has not decided to fraudulently cash checks. But it's still an issue to this day. Because once your account number's out there, it's out there.
That's awful.
Introduction to my company is my kind of going, but I took it to the post office. I even remember I mailed it inside because I had to go buy stamps. And they're like, we don't think you did it. Don't worry. We're just trying to figure out what did happen.
Yeah, it's postal scams are one of those things that gets really, really sticky. Is because it's like, okay, it left my hands when I put it into the mailbox at the post office, and it never got to the recipient.
Yeah.
How did it disappear?
Mm-hmm.
Been all sorts of weird screwball stuff like that. Ugh. And some of them are actually just like really, really specialized ways of stealing stuff from the post office.
The problem is you steal from the post office. It's a federal crime. They don't have a good sense of humor.
Oh yeah, quite true.
Yeah, which
But
is
like it might be internal, or it might be external, and it takes a long time to figure out sometimes.
that it does. Okay, I need to get out of here. I need to go to work at 6:58. I still have to go dry my hair, get ready for the office, and I will definitely not be on tonight because this whole week I am working late, probably till 7 every night. So, everyone, on behalf of the Dark Mom Consortium and Moopsy in the Morning, I want to thank you for joining us. We will be back tomorrow morning for sure, unless I'm... Yeah, tomorrow morning we'll be back, 6 a.m. Taz, don't do all your stuff before we join you.
Okay, I try.
He'll try to resist himself.
Resist the temptation. Everyone, have a great morning, as we like to say around here. Stay moopsome. Moopsy, Moopsy, Sean the non-believers, Sean. Sav sent me all those things on audio files so I can put them on my stream deck. Yay!
Awesome.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, take care, everyone.